classroom. Remember, if you are inside of your Google Chrome account, if you're signed into Chrome, it's not going to let you watch it. That's always been the case. If you browse as guest, or if you browse, I would just browse as guest. That's the only way I've tested it, and it might be working now. So we'll give it that a try. Photoshop open. Should be good, but we'll see. All right, any luck on that video feed? No? It's kind of like the event will begin in a few. All right.
Let me see it.
I'll try Chrome.
If you solve it, I want to make a pattern.
All right, so I might be having some technical difficulties with that. Oh, that's a bummer. So I think I did start the Hangout. Let me know if anyone gets it. It's supposed to be going now. Yeah, it's going. Let me see.
I can see it.
Oh, nice. What are you using? Chrome. Lectures. Oh, use Chrome, guys. Try Chrome. Make sure you're on Chrome. Don't forget to mute me. Thank you. I do want to keep the audio, and I'll trim this part so that if you needed the reference later on, you can have it. And what I'll do is on that page, I'll just keep stacking the lectures on there. So each page will have a lecture, and you should be able to kind of look at them a little bit better rather than the YouTube channel. Okay, great. Good news. All right, so first things first, let me show you something that I added for you guys. If you go to my website, and if it's blocked, I'll get working on this one. Computer graphics, you go to the stock. There's the stock 2.0 right here. If you click on this, it's a bunch of more imagery that you can use. Just a lot more images. And I think you guys found this one before, right? But you can use any one of these ones as well. So for this workout, I'm going to use something that's really bright. And I think I'm going to go with this image right here. So you should be able to download them if you press there. Once you download them, you can drag them into Photoshop. There we go. All right, so the first thing I want to cover today is how to use the levels to kind of help you with exposure settings. So I'm going to double click on this to unlock the background. Oh, forgot about that. Sorry. There you go. Much better. Melted your lights. If the blanks are bothering you, let me know, and I'll close them for you too. All right, it's the same place where we found the curves. You go to Image, Adjustments, Levels. Now, the levels are fairly cool. Single slider right here. And as you move it, you can see that if I go this way, it really brightens everything out. If I go on this side, it starts to balance the image. So it's also a little bit of the, in a similar fashion as how the curves work, but this one's already just working with intensity. I'll have you guys do more of an analysis later on as to what you think it's doing. The projector is not going to give it justice at all. But if you look at it on the screen, or if you try to use the same image as me, you might be able to see the big difference. There we go, that's better. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back and forward again so that you can see the big change that I've applied to it. So that's original image. This is with my change on the curves. You can also use the channels here. So it's an indication that it's altering the color. There's presets for you as well. You can press auto and it tries to do its best about balancing everything out, but it's sometimes not as desired because it's looking at this peak right here. So the first peak on the left side of the histogram, and that's a part of the color that it doesn't want to miss out on. I can skip it altogether because it's such a small part of the image that I don't care about. But as I slide it, you can see which part of the image you're altering. So it's part of the car. So it's part of the reds that it's messing with. So if I go to the green channel and I modify the green channel and then I modify the blue channel and leave the red channel alone, I can modify the background without really messing with the red too much. And then do the red last. I'm going to go over these droppers later on. They're a little bit more of an advanced feature, but they allow you to select like the darkest points or the lightest points of the picture so you can make your adjustments accordingly. So we'll do a little bit of experiment with that. We'll do something where we look at some food photography and we try to make it from a good picture of a salad or something. We're going to make it into a picture that's just like, wow, that's how it looks like when I eat it. Nice crispy salad, right? So we'll mess with those colors with that. Okay? So another thing that's kind of neat, and you guys might have already found this from exploration or me helping you out, is the clone stamp tool. Who's used the clone stamp on here? Good. It's a good teaching moment then. Check this out. So the clone stamp is right below the brush. There's a pattern stamp and a clone stamp. Today I'm going to go over the clone stamp. I'm going to get a little bit of a bigger brush. 100% hardness, 70 pixels. I'm actually going to go all out and do 247 pixels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, see this little like glow of light right here? I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to adjust my brush size again so that it's just that size. I'm going to sample another part of the image. And now you can see that after I press the option key to sample, so I have my clone tool, I press the option key, and that's giving me a sample. After I've done that, when I move my cursor around, you can see the change in the image. So I'm going to go ahead and start right there. I'm going to keep really steady. And I'm going to change the way this image looks. This is a lot better for touch-up photography. For this kind of stuff, it's not really great unless you really want to modify how something looks. It's how you can give someone a third eye. It's how I can give this car another one of these headlights. So I'm going to sample here. I'm just going to draw another headlight right here. There's this line. It looks like it's a car's line, but it looks like it's a ray of light. So I can actually change that out too. That is weird. Did you guys see that? I never even noticed that until I zoomed in. So there's this crazy yellow line that goes through the car into the track of the airport. And I don't think it's part of, I don't know which one it is part of. So I'm going to erase it with this clone stamp tool. So right now I'm sampling part of the landing path right here, and I'm just erasing that line. I'm not doing a really good job at it, to be honest with you. But I'm just sampling a point. I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller. Sample from right here and just keep erasing it. Erase that part right here. I'm going to reconstruct the red from the car. Man, cars are difficult. we go. There's another way to do this once I've reconstructed it a little bit, and that's the healing tool. And then as I use the healing tool, after I've used my clone tool, it might just do a little bit of justice to the color values that are in it. See how it's kind of meshing the paint together there? So the healing tool right above the brush tool is going to have a similar but different effect as the clone tool. That is a really interesting line. If you want to get some practice, grab this image from my stock photography 2.0. And how do you get rid of that line? How did you even know? I thought it was part of the car. But I think it must be like a ray of light that hit the lens on the camera, and it gave me this weird, crazy looking line. I never noticed it until I zoomed in. That's weird. That's kind of crazy. Awesome. So that's it for that. Oh, one more thing. Filter gallery. This is cool. So filter gallery, you might have found it as well, but it gives you the option to look at your image. You might need to zoom out a little bit. Gives you an option to look at your image under different filters. So before you apply the actual filter, it gives you a preview, and it gives you all of the different settings that you can apply for that specific filter. You can see a distort right here. As you can tell, there's not all of the distorts, because under distort is our displacement map. So that one's not even in here. So it just gives you a few of the options that you can see on the fly and that it can handle rendering on a preview. So filter gallery is a pretty fun one to play with. Don't let filters take over your work, because they can, because they're cool. So make sure that your meaning, your intent is still behind it. That it was just something that added to your image. All right. I'll go ahead and stop the lecture now and then give you guys the ability to see some of the students' works from last trimester to get some ideas. I'm planning on having this assignment due tomorrow. If you're really stuck, you should talk to me today. Okay.